It's such a gross day outside, but all I want to do is make videos. All my friends are busy. What am I supposed to do? You could practice your visual effects. Actually, that's a great idea. Thank you. No problem. But that's actually how I got into filmmaking. Saw these cool effects that people like Freddie W. and Corridor Digital were doing. And one day I found a video showing me how to do some of those effects. And that kind of sparked my interest into film. And I want to do that for you. So let me teach you how to make a clone effect in After Effects. Let's go. Now there are 3 ways to make a clone. The first and easiest is to split the frame in half. Have one side for one clone, one side for the other. And it's that easy. But there is one problem. If the clones try to move or touch each other, they'll get cut off. We'll fix that later, but right now let's hop into After Effects and see how this is done. This first effect, all you'll need is a tripod and your subject. And to shoot this shot, all you need to do is shoot the clone separately without moving the camera in between. It's that easy. Now that you have your footage, you'll need to import it into After Effects, drag both of your clips into the timeline, and now I'm going to go to a spot where my other clone is going to be visible, and select the top layer. Now I'm going to go to the rectangle tool, drag a rectangle over my top clone, the t-shirt clone, top layer, so I'll drag a rectangle over my t-shirt clone. Now there is one problem with this effect. It's that if I deselect the mask by clicking anywhere outside, you'll see that there is a line going down the center. That's just because I'm standing in a different spot, light's bouncing differently. So to fix that, you just go to feather and feather out a few pixels. And that's how you do this effect. The second effect uses a green screen. This will make it much easier to single out the subject from the background without much work. And with this method, we can make the clones cross each other, which is cool. You can do a lot of things with that. So let's hop into After Effects and do it. For the second effect, you'll again need your camera on a tripod. This time, you'll need one green screen plate of one of your clones, a green screen plate of the other clone, and a clean plate. A clean plate is footage of your background with nothing in it, just your background. As you can see, I already have my footage in the timeline. I have the sweatshirt plate on the top because that's the clone that I want to be in front when their arms cross, the t-shirt plate in the middle, and the clean plate on the bottom. Now click on the rectangle tool, select the top layer, and draw a rectangular mask inside your green screen. Next, go to Effects and Presets, type in Key, and drag Keylight 1.2 onto your top layer. Click the color picker next to screen color, and find an average color on your green screen. This should be good. The effect automatically keys out your green screen, but it's not perfect, so let's fine tune it. So I'm going to bring up my screen gain and bring down screen balance. Then I'll open screen matte, and here are some more settings that I can use to fine tune my key. Now this is where you will most likely need to experiment on your own to find the settings that will work best with your green screen setup. But you may be able to use my settings as well. Here are my final settings for this key. Now the key looks pretty good. Next we just do the same thing for the second layer. Now all you need to do is unhide all your layers, and your green screen clone effect is finished. In this last effect, we'll be using a process called rotoscoping instead of green screen. Now this still allows the clones to move around freely, but it does take some more work. Let's see how it's done. For the third and final effect, you will only need your subject and your camera on a tripod. And again, you don't want to move your camera between takes. In my timeline, I have my 2 pieces of footage. The t-shirt clone is on top, because that is the clone that will go in front when they cross. This time, we will use a process called rotoscoping, which is essentially cutting out your subject from the background for each frame that you need. We will be using the rotoscope tool, which is the little paintbrush drawing a stick figure. This tool makes rotoscoping a lot faster, but does sacrifice some control over the mask points. For our simple effect, that's not a problem. So I'll click on the rotobrush tool and double click on the layer that I want to rotoscope. Make sure that you are at the first frame that needs to be rotoscoped, and now your cursor is a green circle, which is going to be your brush. My brush is a little small, so I will hold Control and drag up to make the brush bigger. You can drag down to make the brush smaller as well. Then click and drag along the inside outline of your subject. It's okay if your first pass is not perfect. We'll be adjusting the mask a lot. The software then tries to figure out what you want to be masked. As you can see, it didn't do a very good job on the first try. So to start, I'll drag over the design on my shirt. Then I'm going to add more to my face in the mask. I don't want the wall in my mask, so I'm going to hold Alt, which will turn my cursor red, and drag on the outside of my face to tell the tool that this shouldn't be in the mask. Then I'll continue to make these small adjustments until my mask is as good as possible. You want to make sure that your mask is as detailed as possible in the first frame, because this will make it easier for the software to adjust the mask for future frames. Now I've finished the mask. I did skip over the area between my arms. This is because the background I'm compositing the footage onto has the same background as my footage, and by the time that the clones cross each other, you can't see the background through my arms, so it's not a problem. If you are rotoscoping for a completely different background, you'll need to be careful of the background peeking through the holes in your subject. Next, I will click page down to go a frame forward, and the rotobrush tool is going to adjust the mask to fit the new position I'm in. Although, it isn't perfect, so you'll most likely need to go in and fix some small issues. Now I'm just going to go through all my frames and adjust the mask as needed. This process takes a while, so I'll come back once I've finished. Now that you've finished rotoscoping your footage, if you click back into the composition window, you'll see that your clone is already composited into your other footage. And now you could be done with your effect now, but there are some small things that you can do to make it better. And those things are adjusting the settings in the Rotobrush tool effects window. The first setting is the feathering. If you remember from the first effect, that is just blending the masks together. I'd say it's good at 5%. You can adjust it if you need to. Now the setting that we are going to adjust is the chatter. If you go back into your layer window and scroll through the timeline, you'll see the different points on the mask jumping around a little bit. Depending on how complicated your subject is, this might make the mask jump around a little bit and make it obvious that it's a mask. So to reduce chatter, we can just turn that reduce chatter up by 5%. If you need more, go for it. Try not to overdo it. And now, your effect is finished. I hope this tutorial is helpful, and please, tell me what effect you want me to teach next time.
Oh, can you teach me how to make a lightsaber?
In the comments. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Bye.